Hey guys, it's middle grade March. So, starting off middle grade March, I wanted to do a special little project. I have a handful of Newbery award winning books that I own that are on my bookshelves that I haven't read. And so I thought that over this next, or like the first week and a half of middle grade March, I would try to read as many of them as possible. So I did not include these in my TBR list, most of them, because I just kind of wanted to make this a separate thing outside of my solidified TBR. But I have 9 Newbery award winning books that I want to try to get to, and I figured I'd just see how many I could hit. So the books that I'm going to be reading over this next probably 9 days, I'm thinking, are from the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler by E.L. Konigsberg. I also have The View from Sunday by E.L. Konigsberg. Both of these I really don't know much about, hardly any of these books, so we'll see as I get to them what I think of them. Out of the Dust by Karen Hesse. This is a book written in verse, I know that. So I have that one. I have The Westing Game by Ellen Raskin. I think this is a mystery, but I don't really know anything about this otherwise. I have Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell. This one I read when I was in 7th grade. We read it in school, and I don't remember anything about it. So this will be interesting to get to. I also have Number the Stars by Lois Lowry. I know I read this in middle school, but I don't remember a lot of it, and it's super short, so I shouldn't have an issue getting to this one. But I do know that this one is World War II historical fiction. I have Flora and Ulysses by Kate DiCamillo. This is one that is heavily illustrated, so I'm looking forward to getting to that. I have Holes by Louis Sekar. I think that's how you say his name. And I know this is a well-beloved one, and this one has a movie adaptation to it, so we'll see. And then the only one that is actually on my official TBR is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. And this is also on my annual TBR as well. So I want to definitely get to this one as well. I think out of all of them, this is probably the one that's going to take me the longest to read. But we'll see. So yeah, I figured I would do this kind of like I did my Historathon vlog, where I'll just check in with you guys as I get to these books and as I'm reading them, tell you my thoughts about them as we go. And we'll see how this turns out. So I will check in with you guys later. So the first book I decided to pick up for this project is Number the Stars by Lois Lowry. I'm already in the mindset of historical fiction because we just came off of Historathon. So I figured I would sit down and give this a read and probably finish it tonight. It is Sunday night, March 1st. And so yeah, I figured I'd kick off middle grade March like this, and we'll see what I think of it. I'll check in with you guys when I get done. Okay, so it is now Tuesday, and I finally finished this tiny little book. I have not been reading like anything. So finally finished Number with the Stars. I really like this, guys. It's like a 4.5, almost 5 stars, but not quite all the way there. Really sweet little historical fiction about a little girl whose best friend is Jewish, and her family is trying to help them escape in Denmark during World War II. So anyway, yeah, really like this one. So that's one down. The next one that I'm going to pick up is Flora and Ulysses by Kate DiCamillo. I don't really know much about this other than it is about a hamster and a little girl, I think. It's heavily illustrated though, I know that. We'll see what I think of it. I'm going to read it now during nap time and see how far I can get in this today. So I'll check in with you once I have more thoughts. Okay, so it is now Thursday, and I thought I would check in with a little bit of a reading update. I am still reading Flora and Ulysses. I am over halfway through with it, but I'm just chugging along on it. I'm enjoying it, but I don't know as though I'm loving it. It's good though, and it'll be interesting to see kind of where the story goes from where it currently is. It is about a little girl and her squirrel pet that has superpowers. It's just kind of an odd little fantastical story. But it's quick paced, and when I do get a chance to sit down and physically read, this is what I'm reading. I had previously had some other audiobooks that I was listening to that I needed to get done, and those are done. And so I have switched to now listening to The Girl Who Drank the Moon, and I'm really liking this. Last year I tried listening to this and I just couldn't get into it, and this year I'm just gobbling it up and loving it. The audiobook is fantastic. The narrator is brilliant. Really, really enjoying this. So I was thinking last night about the books that were on this list and which ones I thought I was going to be able to get to and which ones I may not. And as I was thinking about it, I realized that I can fill all 5 of the middle grade March prompts with only these books. So I already completed a book set in another country because this is set in Denmark. And I'm currently reading a book with illustrations because this is heavily illustrated. And then this also has a lot to do with books. So this is a book about books and stories. And then if I read from the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankenweiler, this is a mystery. So I could either read this one or even The Westing Game is a mystery as well. So I have 2 options for that. And then for a book to movie adaptation, I have Holes. So I have all of these books that I could read and fill all of the prompts. I'm looking through a couple of them to see if I have any other ones that have illustrations in them. I don't think I do. I think that Flora and Ulysses is the only one I have that has illustrations in it. Or no, I take that back. The Mixed Up Files has illustrations in it. They're really awful illustrations, but they're illustrations. See? So this has illustrations in it. So if I didn't want to double up, I could do The Westing Game and The Mixed Up Files, Flora and Ulysses, and Number the Stars, and Holes. And if I read those 5 books, I would complete all of the challenges just with the Newbery winners that I own on my shelves. So, and then plus The Girl Who Drank the Moon, because this is on my 2020 TBR and I just need to read it finally. It's been eluding me for way too long. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to set the other ones aside. I have Island of the Blue Dolphins, A View from Saturday, and Out of the Dust. And I will put these kind of on the back end of my TBR, where at the end of the month, if I have more time, I will try to read these. But I'm not going to try to read them here in the next few days. In the next few days, I'm going to really try to get to these other ones and see if I can knock out all these challenges. Because, I mean, how cool would that be if I could do all the challenges just with Newbery winning books that I already own? So, anyway, the name of the game today is I need to go to the library because I need to return the book club, my in real life book club that I do. I host it, and our library, I don't know if all libraries do this, our library has a service that they call book kits, and you can get from the library, it's a book club, ready to go kit, and you get 10 copies of the book in a bag with discussion questions for that book. So last month we did PC Me Together by Renee Watson. So I have all of the books in a bag. I need to take them back to the library. And then we had our meeting yesterday. So we talked about it. It was great. Passed out the new books. Anyway, so I need to return the old book kit back to the library and pick up another couple other books for my kids. I am not going in to peruse books because I do not need any more books in my house right now. But I do need to run and do that really quick. And then I'm just going to read the rest of the day. I have a sick kid at home. So unfortunately, that means I have to read all day. Shucks. But no, I will be taking care of him, but also just kind of settling down and reading. That's the one good thing about sick kids is you can't leave the house. So I get a lot of reading time in. So I'm going to finish this today for sure. That won't be an issue. And then once I finish this, I will probably pick up, I'm thinking I may pick up Holes because I was looking at the audiobooks and this one I know has a hold on it. So I don't know if it would come in on time. I may pick up this one. We'll see. We'll see what I'm in the mood for when I finish Flora and Ulysses. But anyway, that's my game plan and what, I'm going to be reading, whatnot. I will check in with you when I have another update. Hey guys, so it is Friday, March 6th. I don't even know what day it is anymore. My kids had the day off school today, so it's felt like Saturday all day. But I have a little bit of an update. I have now finished Flora and Ulysses. I finished it yesterday. I enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars. Um, I didn't really care for the storyline of it that much, but there were a lot of good like quotes and one-liners in this, and there were a lot of like points made that I thought were important. But the overall storyline was just odd. And honestly, I don't know as though I completely understood what was happening. So, this is about a little girl who has this squirrel that she encounters that has special abilities, and she thinks of him as a superhero, and she very heavily compares him to a comic book superhero from a comic book series that she's completely obsessed with. And so she references that a lot in this book, and I didn't know that, so this counted for the book about books prompt for middle grade March. But that comes up a lot in here. But she lives with her mom. Her parents are divorced. Her dad is odd. Like, I think, well, I shouldn't say it that way. I honestly, the way he's portrayed in here is that he's just a little off. But also, he seems like he might just have OCD. And, but that's never really discussed. And so I don't really know. And then she has a next door neighbor, and her next door neighbor's like great nephew comes into the picture, and he has like some baggage that he's dealing with. And it kind of comes out in the book that her mom thinks that she is weird and she doesn't like that about her. And it's just was a kind of a weird book. But like I said, there were a couple of really good quotes in it. So I did enjoy it, but I ended up giving it 3 stars. So it is what it is. But I did finish it. And then I moved on to Holes. I'm about a quarter of the way through this now, and I don't really have much to say about it yet. It's good, I guess. I don't know. It's about this boy, Stanley, who is sent to this juvenile correction camp, and he has to dig a hole every day in the ground out in the desert. And I don't know. That's all I've gotten to so far with that. And then I have made some progress in The Girl Who Drank the Moon. I am almost halfway through this. So my game plan is to finish Holes and The Girl Who Drank the Moon both this weekend. I want to do that, and then also hopefully get to from the mixed up files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankenweiler. Because if I do complete these 3, I will have completed all of the challenges. So, and that was kind of what I decided, like in my head, I wanted to do was try to complete the challenges just off of the Newbery winners. So if I do that, I can do this. So, or if I complete, let me start over. If I finish these 3 books, I'll be done. And I think that's all I'm going to read. I don't think I'm going to read anything else because there are so many other books that I want to be getting to. And I'm just kind of feeling the pull towards other things, more recent releases, things like that. And so I'm kind of feeling bogged down by the fact that I've given myself this project, and I'm feeling like I have to read these. So now, of course, I don't want to read them because I'm telling myself I have to, and that's just not a healthy mind space to be in. So I think if I can finish these 3 books this weekend, that will kind of free up my headspace to be able to read some other things that I want to read throughout the month. So yeah, I think that's the game plan moving forward, but just kind of wanted to check in unless you guys know where I was at. So I have completed 2 books, and then I've got a couple of other things that I've gotten done too that aren't part of this project. But anyway, that's where I'm at for now. I will check in with you guys when I have another update. Hey guys, it is Saturday morning, and I woke up this morning and finished the last 10 chapters of Holes, so this is done. I haven't decided what I'm going to rate this yet. I'm waffling between a 3 and a 4. I really enjoyed it, but it wasn't like blow my mind crazy. I definitely enjoyed this more than Flora and Ulysses though, and I gave that 3 stars, so I don't know. This may end up just being a 3-star read for me. However, because it's Saturday morning, it's kind of a slow morning in our house. I'm going to sit and watch the movie adaptation of this morning. And then later on I will start from the Mixed Up Files. So I'm gonna sit and watch a movie for a little bit and kind of go from there. I may take the kids to the library later, but other than that, we don't have a whole lot going on. The husband and I have a date night tonight, so that'll be fun. But yeah, really enjoyed this one though. And anyway, I will check in with you guys when I have another update. All right, guys, so it is now Sunday night. All the kids are in bed, husband's gone to bed, and I just thought I'd give you a little bit of an update. So I watched the movie of Holes yesterday, and I think it actually made me like the book less. I did not really care for the movie. I enjoyed the book when I was reading it, and then as I saw it all play out on the screen, it made me realize kind of how ridiculous the book was and that it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. And so I think after watching that, I'm solidly at a 3 star for the book. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was just like a very odd experience. Um, but so that's kind of where I landed on that. And then today I finished listening to The Girl Who Drank the Moon. This book is super hyped, and I don't really understand why. Um, I didn't really care for it. Guys, I know, like, everybody just loves this book and raves about this book, and I just didn't really care for it. The narrator for the audiobook was fantastic. Like, all the voices were absolutely fantastic, but just the story in general, I felt like it was too complex. I thought that there were parts of it that could have just been left out that didn't really make a lot of sense. I had to re-listen to a lot of it because I wasn't catching a lot of it. Um, it just, I don't know. I didn't really care for it. I did not, like, I agree. I know there is another booktuber, Cozy Reader Kelly, who has said a lot of times that she doesn't care for this book because of the way that adoption is portrayed in it. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. Especially after reading through this, I messaged her and I was like, okay, I get it. And asked like what her opinions were on it. And I know her children are adopted, and so she has like a special connection to it and she views it through a different lens. But even someone like my children are not adopted, and I still viewed the way that adoption was portrayed in this as being really off. I just didn't care for it. I don't know. I don't know. I will probably end up giving it 3 stars because there were parts of it that I liked. Um, but overall, it was not my favorite book ever. And I don't understand the hype around this for sure. Do not understand the hype around this one. But that's my unpopular opinion for the year, maybe. I don't know. This and Redeeming Love were probably my two. If you haven't seen my Historathon vlog and my opinions about Redeeming Love, you'll understand what I mean if you go back and watch that. But those are probably the two this year that are going to go down as my unpopular opinions. So anyway, I now have picked up from the Mixed Up Files of Basil E. Frankenweiler. It's sitting over there, so I'm not going to go grab it. But I am reading that. I'm reading it and listening to the audiobook off and on, like as I have time to do both, because that is my last book for this project. So I'm going to try to get that done. I probably won't finish it tonight, but by tomorrow morning, I would like to get sometime tomorrow morning, I would like to get this done and wrap this up tomorrow because there are so many other middle grade books that I want to be reading. So I need to wrap this up so I can move on. But anyway, I just thought I would check in with you guys and kind of let you know where I was at, and I will check in with you when I finish the Mixed Up Files. Hey guys, so it is Monday, and I just finished from the Mixed Up Files of This is Basil, I don't know, E. Frankweiler. I've been calling this Frankenweiler for forever. And the last half of this book, I finally realized that I've been mispronouncing that for as long as I can remember. So anyway, I finished this. I enjoyed it. It was like a 3-star book. It wasn't anything profound, but it was okay. So this filled the challenge of doing a mystery. There's a little bit of a mystery in this. This is about 2 siblings who run away. They live in Greenwich, and they run away to the Met, the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City, and they live there for a week. And while they're there, they find this statue, and the museum's trying to figure out if the statue was made by Michelangelo. So they decide they are going to figure out if the statue was made by Michelangelo. And that's kind of what this is about. It's super, super short. It was a really quick read. Like I said, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't anything life-changing. So that was 3 stars. So I am going to end this kind of Newbery reading vlog, whatever thing here. I have read now 5 Newbery winners that I had on my shelves. And with these 5 books, I've been able to complete all of the challenges for middle grade March. So really quickly, in a recap, I read Lois Lowry's Number the Stars. This I gave 4 stars. It's set in Denmark, so it's set in a different country than what I live in, and I really, really enjoyed this one. And then I also read Flora and Ulysses by Kate DiCamillo. This is illustrated, and it has to do with stories and books because the main character is obsessed with a comic book series and references it a lot in this book. I gave this one 3 stars. It was good, but there were some parts of it that I just really didn't quite understand. I also read The Girl Who Drank the Moon. This one, I guess you could say it has to do with stories. It's more of just a fantasy, and I wanted to read it anyway. I didn't really like it. I think I'm going to give it 3 stars, but honestly, it's more of a 2.5. I just didn't care for this book. That's a huge unpopular opinion, and I get that, but it is what it is. It just didn't resonate with me very well. I almost DNF'd it again. I DNF'd it last March, and I almost DNF'd it again because I just didn't really care for it. And then I also read Holes by Louis Sekar, and this one I enjoyed, and then I watched the movie, and I found I enjoyed it a little bit less after watching the movie, but gave it 3 stars. But I enjoyed this one probably the most out of all of my 3-star reads. So it was good. I didn't really say what any of these were about, but I kind of went over that earlier in this video. So, and then the last one was the Mixed Up from the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler by E.L. Konigsberg. So those are the 5 Newbery medal winners that I read over the last week. Not really very successful as far as high rated books, but I had 1 4-star, and then the rest were like 3-star, high 2-star kind of stuff. But like on Goodreads, these will all probably go down as 3-star reads, but really some of them were like 2.5 stars. So I'm looking forward to getting into reading some other things that will hopefully be 5-star reads for me. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed kind of watching this little experiment and seeing what I read over this past week. And yeah, if you've read any of these, I'd love to hear your opinions on them. I know, like I said, my opinion on The Girl Who Drank the Moon is an unpopular opinion, but I know that going into the comments. So anyway, but if you've read any of these, I'd love to hear your opinions on them. And other than that, I'd also like to hear what your favorite Newbery winner that you have read has been. So Newbery's been around for, I don't know, almost 100 years now. And I would love to know what your favorite that you have read has been. And yeah, other than that, I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you stick around and subscribe. And until next time. See ya!